book what is true.
So if it's not monkeys in their eyes, which it isn't, it's actually a ape or a common ancestor, then it's a talking snake. Are you telling me these are the two things we got to go by? Do you know what I'm saying? We got a monkey.
That's such a violation. That's why people don't like you. The religious.
That's what I'm saying. So we got a monkey. We can't go by that, but we're gonna go by a talking snake, though.
You're mocking it.
Yeah,
These are the views held by.
That's your opinion.
But that's why people don't like me, because I give them the option. But that's the options that we got. This is what I say. This is one of the things. Talk about Islam. One things people don't like about when I say about Muhammad. He had a young wife.
Yeah, that's a hot one still.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's hot.
That's always a hot cake.
Yeah.
He had
to go. Zoop.
I'm just saying, but I'll say it. It's fine. He had a young wife, and he also had black people as his slaves. That's written down. So when you talk about Gandhi and you're saying, but the thing is, people aren't going to ride for Gandhi like they'd ride for Muhammad. So you can speak about it, and you see how fear, and you see how fear can stop people from just having normal conversation.
It's the hack.
It's crazy, bro.
It's the hack. Once you learn how to hack humans, you start to understand the fundamentals of religion. Because in order to control people, you need to create uncertainty and fear.
Yes.
And if you create uncertainty and fear, you can make people do anything.
100%.
And that is the foundation of religion.
Yes.
If you look at Islam, if you don't follow this and that will happen. Christianity, if you don't follow this and that will happen. And people don't know about death. So you create uncertainty, then you give them a solution to the uncertainty, and then they comply. But it's also necessary.
Solution.
There you go. But it's also necessary in order for humans to go in one direction, that we believe in a common myth. Yuval Noah Harari says it in his book, Sapiens.
Yeah.
You need people to believe in a common myth so that everyone goes in one direction. Otherwise, people are shooting off in different directions. So I see the value of religion, but then at the same time, we need to understand that if you understand how humans work, which I believe our ancestors understood, like if you look at philosophy, there's no...
They were philosophers, though.
There's no new philosophical
They were big
perspective.
philosophers, yeah.
These people sat down and observed human nature.
100%.
They observed and they wrote it down.
100%.
So when I read the book Art of War.
Art of War.
How old is that book? That was written
Sun Tzu, yeah, it's true.
Yeah? If you read that book on war, that's essentially religion on war.
100%.
The stuff he wrote down is stuff Putin is doing today.
100%.
So if people to revere him as a messiah, would he not be one in his own right?
Would he not be the next prophet? Would he not be a prophet?
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah,
because
yeah,
everything he's saying now is legit.
Yeah, that's right.
So what that tells me is that our ancestors were massive observers of human
100%.
nature. And when you observe human nature, you can make other people conform to certain standards. And over time, that's perpetuated and you have what we see today.
Why do you think the elites use religion to control? This is what I'm trying to say. That's why when you look at people talk about masonry and blah, blah, blah. You go in there, there's a lot of religious paraphernalia in there because they understand the power of it. And I'm not just saying the power of the God or the devil. I'm saying the power of the controlling people. It's a very powerful thing to control people. And I'm saying...
If you look historically in slavery, where they condensed the Bible, didn't they? And they I can't remember. It was one. I think one Marxist, was it Weber? I can't. It lose me now. But it says religion is an opiate of the masses.
Of the masses, yeah.
Yeah, because if essentially if you're, say, a slave and you're exported and you're told your life is shit and this is your existence, it's a shitty life. You'll commit suicide, your commodity, you won't work to your full potential. But now if you steal a false value into someone saying like, oh, God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers and tells you there's something, it drugs you to thinking that there's something better than
100%.
when really your existence is just pitiful.
It's a hack. It's a hack. That's how you hack humans. That's how you hack the psyche. Give you something bigger than your existence to believe in and strive for. Because if you don't have that thing, you just...
And you're never quite it. You see, I read a thing about the rain god, right? And people that believed in the rain god. Then you'd say, we want rain. Do the rain dance. If you rain dance, we'll get rain. They do the rain dance. There's no rain. Oh, you didn't do it. You didn't do it good enough.
Start sacrificing people.
You didn't do it good enough. Do it again. All right, we'll do it again. Blah, blah, blah. No rain. Guys, are you sure you're doing it right? You start to doubt yourself. Shit, am I doing it right? Oh yeah, bam. Do it again. Boom. It rains. Oh yes, it's 50-50, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? It's 50-50. It rains.
This is what people of today are going off. Because I always make the point in saying this. If Jesus was to be resurrected again today, and he spoke to you and said, I'm Jesus,
he'd be cancelled.
You'll be like, you this crazy motherfucker.
Yeah,
so
you'll be
to me,
cancelled.
it's like, if today we'd think that motherfucker is crazy, Why weren't these same people crazy back then?
Yeah.
Like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to say I believe that certain things happened, but you have to remember that the art of passing on stories is through writing stories down. And what do? We exaggerate those stories.
100%.
That's how they're memorable.
100%.
That's how they remain memorable.
I'm sure in 500 years' time, Martin Luther King will be some kind of a prophet or God or whatever. Or name the leader, Malcolm X or Putin, or it will become exaggerated.
Yeah, what they've painted Winston Churchill as a hero, even though he was like an average racist and all the rest of it.
That's how things happen. And it's not to say that people don't do good. It's just to say that human beings need someone to believe in.
And that's it. And I think that's what we need to understand. That this is human nature. We want these things.
Look at Gandhi. He's seen as like a deity, but he was like a.
This guy was chopping young bucks.
Yeah, he was.
He was a racist as well. He was a racist.
He was like a Hindu nationalist. He was had affinity towards the caste system. He was racist. He played with children. He abused women in his own family, in his bloodline. He's a. Yeah,
But this is what I say. This is one of the things talk about Islam. One things people don't like about when I say about Muhammad. He had a young wife.
Yeah, that's a hot one still.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's hot.
That's always a hot cake.
He had
to go. Zoop.
I'm just saying, but I'll say it. It's fine. He had a young wife, and he also had black people as his slaves. That's written down. So when you talk about Gandhi and you're saying, but the thing is, people aren't going to ride for Gandhi like they'd ride for Muhammad. So you can speak about it, and you see how fear,
fair enough.
and you see how fear can stop people from just having normal conversation.
It's the hack.
It's crazy, bro.
It's the hack. Because that fear is like, and what troubles me is that when you're having certain conversations, someone will tell you, well, this book tells you the sky is black when it's clearly blue. But if you repeat those same words, that the sky is blue, even though you know it's blue, you're gonna go.
You're done.
But then now I have to defend it.
Yes.
That's the level of fear, and
Yes.
that absolutely disgusts me to my
Yes,
core.
yes.
That it's the same thing with man them calling themselves girls and calling themselves man. Is that you want me to believe in this delusion, though my eyes clearly and your eyes can clearly see this shit ain't real.
Yeah, yeah.
But because it says this, and you will end up somewhere.
Motherfucker is not real.
I'm telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
It's troubling to me. It's truly troubling to me. Like you know this shit's not real. There's no slice on the moon, bro. Do you see how troubling this can be in any narrative?
Yeah, because I can control you easily, bro. And that people talk about dog whistles. Like religions have dog whistles, innit? If you go to a certain place, and I just use a term, Islamophobe, fam, and there's Muslims around,
Smoky settings.
dog whistle, bro.
Smoky settings.
That's it. You're done out.
It doesn't even have to necessarily be just religion. So I was talking to another girl.
Yeah, it's anything. Yeah.
And
transphobe.
her ideology was this: that everything that happens is written. So nothing you could do can help you, make you deviate from what it is you're meant to do. So I said, okay, so she's telling me she's been great before and blah, blah, blah. That was just written in your story. That's what's meant to happen. There was no way of avoiding and blah, blah, blah. So I said, I could use that same logic to go commit atrocities. If that was a religion, I can use that same logic to commit atrocity and say, well, I was meant to do it. Because she says everything that happens for a reason.
Yes.
So the reason that this happened to me was for X, and the reason someone's going to school and shooting up massive amounts of people. I'm like, how does that make sense? Because you're validating bad behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's probably for her to find solace.
It's a cope.
But this is. So I'm trying to use a different example. That's just not religion. Is anybody that have these ideologies that's dogmatic?
Yes.
It's problematic for society.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think with the way humans are wired, we do need some kind of structure.
But that's
we're too early in our development.
Yes.
To just know this by default.
100%.
And that's what it is.
And ancient people, for me, were more in tune spiritually than the people of today.
100%.
Because when you look at the way in which I always take the hieroglyphics for example, right? When they say that people had quote unquote gods with animals on them, right? So Eddie, you're a big guy, right? And so I'm not trying to disrespect, but I would say, oh yeah, hippopotamus, right?
Why not use gorilla, bro?
Oh, gorilla. All right, fine. All right, fine, gorilla. We'll use gorilla. And then what they would say is, when they describe Eddie, and if you might have characteristics of the gorilla, do you get me? And so they would just use gorilla to describe you. They'll be like, oh, they saw Eddie as a gorilla. He was like a god. It's like, no, it's a bit deeper than that. Look at the characteristics of a gorilla. People see the eye of Horus in Egypt. They say, oh, it's devil. Why did they use the eye? It was the eye of the falcon, right? The falcon had the best sight. They would watch the falcon, see a bloody rabbit, and that falcon will come out of nowhere, zoop, and they'll be like, I didn't even see the falcon. How could he see that?
Yeah, that's the philosophical
because he's got the best eye.
behind
So they would say, oh, he's got the all-seeing eye. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like,
so it's powerful.
It goes a bit deeper than what people think it does. But as humans, we need to make things make sense.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
We need to make things make sense.
We do and we don't, because religion is a perfect example of things that don't make sense.
No, but it's
Because there's some stuff that does make sense. Some of the stories I think they're beautiful and necessary. But then there's other stuff where it's like, this is clearly verifiable. Like, we know better right now. Like, every single year that we live on, there's parts of religion that's becoming eroded, and it should do.
Yes,
And people refuse to accept the parts that are eroded because of fear.
Yes.
So it's
Fear
like,
of hell.
So we should know better, but we don't. We choose to be ignorant.
No,
sometimes.
but the choosing to be ignorant goes wrong. But if you choose to accept that, it invalidates your whole religion.
And
Because
my
you
belief,
can't-
and I hear that, but I don't think there should be anything wrong with that. Believe in what you believe in, because for me, faith is the things that you can't explain.
No, but then I agree with you. That is what faith is. But then religion is also separate from faith.
Yeah,
So
it's dogmatic.
it's like, if you now accept that there's holes in it, then your religion can't be perfect. Whether that be Christianity, Judaism, Islam. When I'm talking about the Holy Trinity, the Abrahamic faith, is like, you can't accept that one of those things. So, for example, my old pastor used to say that you cannot, as a Christian, believe in the theory of evolution and follow Christianity, because then we would have evolved from monkeys, and that goes against everything.
Everything. Yep.
So it's just like, I hear what you're saying from a rational standpoint, but you can't then you're now picking and choosing from the book what is true.
So if it's not monkeys in their eyes, which it isn't, it's actually an ape or a common ancestor, then it's a talking snake. Are you telling me these are the two things we got to go by? Do you know what I'm saying? We got a monkey.
That's such a violation. That's why people don't like you in the religious.
That's what I'm saying. So we got a monkey. We can't go by that, but we're gonna go by a talking snake though.
You're mocking it.
Yeah,
These are the views held by.
That's your opinion.
But that's why people don't like me, because I give them the option. But that's the options that we got.
Yeah.
We got the monkey or the talking snake. Which one? Oh boy, I'm gonna have to go with the talking snake. Really? Like the talking snake? Yes.
Even
All right,
though
then,
you
cool.
know, but in